Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while since I've sat down and done a little Q&A video with you guys. The last one that I actually did not get the best feedback ever, so today we're going to kind of switch up the concept a little bit to make it more enjoyable for you guys. Do not worry everyone, I am self-aware. I know that when I do Q&A videos I often answer a lot of the same questions. The reason I re-answer those questions is because those are the only questions that I get asked literally over and over again. And just because you guys saw one video where that question was answered, it doesn't mean that every fan that I have did see that. So that is why I get repetitive questions a lot. So now that we've cleared up all the hate I got on my last question video, let's go ahead and get into this one. So for this question video in specific, it's going to be a little bit different than the other ones that I have done in the past. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be answering questions about my past today. Some of you guys may not know, but I have been doing YouTube for 13 years, which is literally insane, which puts me at 6 years old when I made my first YouTube video ever. So around that time, I barely even had consciousness. So my entire life has literally been about YouTube. I don't remember anything before that. And obviously because of that, I've lived a very, very different life than everyone else around me. So that is just what I want to talk about today. And a lot of you guys have asked me just all kinds of questions about my childhood and how I feel about how I grew up. So today I'm going to cover all of those. And it was a very good choice to do this topic because you guys had so many questions. So the first question I'm going to answer is, how did I start YouTube? And I honestly feel like maybe I've never talked about this before, but I'll go ahead and explain how YouTube first came into my life and how my channel came into my life. My mom decided to create a family channel 13 years ago, and I feel like it was for a mix of multiple different reasons. I feel that one of the reasons is she was just looking for something to do. She was tired of doing like her everyday job and she just wanted like to bring something more exciting into her life. The second reason would be around this time, my parents like struggled financially a little bit, and I was in competitive dance, which if any of you do that, you know how expensive it is. So that definitely like raised some difficulties for my family like financially, and then they also had 3 other children. So like keeping up with that as well was a struggle for them. And my mom and dad worked together at that time, and my mom was like, what could I do to just like make money from home? And she also loved watching like the Shaytards. I'm sure there was a few other like channels and such that she enjoyed, but it was the Shaytards in specific that I've heard a million times when it comes to the story. So she kind of just decided like, hey, I've seen like other families do this and this could be like a way to make money and this and that. Obviously my mom had like no expectations from it at all. It was kind of like, I'm doing this for fun, but like if something comes out of it, then that's like cool too. And somehow it was like a 1 in a million possibility, I guess. Our channel just like blew up, and just from that point on it just like continued and continued throughout my entire life. But I will say this, even though I started YouTube at 6, I literally feel like my entire life has been on camera, because all my parents used to do is film everything. Like there's always been like a camera in my face, so that is just honestly what I'm so used to. YouTube or not, whether it went online or it was just at home, like that camera was always in my face. And now the story of how my channel came to be, it's really not as extravagant as the last one. It was just kind of simply like my family channel kept like growing and growing and growing, and then like I reached a certain age and it was kind of like I was the star of Our Family Nest, like if you want to call it. Like there would be a lot of videos on Our Family Nest like simply dedicated to me, and my mom was like, okay, maybe people don't want to see this, so let's make a channel of Karli where if people want to see this they can watch it, you know. It also ended up doing me a huge favor because now here I am, I think like 6-7 years later, still posting videos on this channel. I think I was either like 12 or 13 when I first started this YouTube channel right here. It started exactly when I think my family channel hit either 100,000 subscribers or 500,000 subscribers. I don't remember which one, but I know that like hitting a milestone then was like what was going to create my channel, and that's how it happened. The next question is, what was the thing that surprised you the most as a kid growing up on YouTube? So it's so hard for me to answer like a lot of questions just honestly about this topic, because as I explained at the beginning, it's like this is my entire life, so I have nothing really to compare it to versus like my oldest brother Andrew. Like when we had started YouTube, he was probably like 13-14 years old, so he has like a life before that he remembers. Like I don't have that. So when people ask me like, do you wish you had like a different life, like what was life like before YouTube, like I literally cannot answer those questions. But to try my best about the thing that surprised me, as I explained, from ages 6 to 19 my life has been on YouTube, and the amount of like hate and bad things that I've had happen to me and just weird things and uncomfortable things, like that is just so like shocking to me. It just definitely makes you think, and it definitely is like really surprising, because like I would have never expected, like looking at other influencers or other celebrities or like anything like that, and expected like those are the things that get said to them and those are the things that happen to them. Like it seriously is just so crazy. Like I just can't believe how many people are so mean to young kids, teenagers, children. That is just like unbelievable. It is literally insane. What limitations did YouTube cause on your life/social life? So the first thing that I definitely think of is I feel like my parents were a little bit more strict, especially like concerning anything that involves safety, which is literally everything. So when it came to like hanging out with friends and like going places and like all of that, like I had extreme limitations. Like I had a best friend who was 16 when I was like 14, and she had like her license. Like I was not allowed to literally be in the car with her like at all, and it was like so sad for me because all my friends could do it. Like all my friends could like go hang out with boys and like go do whatever they want, and like at that age I literally was not allowed to do literally anything, and it was so hard for me. And I know now that it was more because like my parents were worried about my safety, and obviously that is something to be concerned about when I'm in the face of public, you know, but it just like sucked so bad. That was definitely like the biggest limitation that I had, is I was not allowed to do as many things as like other kids around me, and it was so sad for me at the time. Did you ever feel obligated to film just so you could live your lifestyle with trips and a big house ... Definitely I have felt obligated at times. There are certain times where I'm like, yeah, of course, like this is so fun, like I'm doing it for fun, but at the end of the day, like this is my job, so like I can't just do whatever I want like all the time. Like at points I am obligated to literally do this to live my life, simply because it is my job, it is my way of making money. How did you feel about your mom putting you and your family's life out there? So for a very, very long time, it did not affect me or bother me at all. And obviously that was when I was a kid, because when you're a kid, you honestly do not care about anything. It's like whatever. And at that time for me, like filming and having a camera in my face was like so much fun. I would say it wasn't until I was like 13, 14, like getting into high school, where I was just like so angry about it. Like I hated that my life was on YouTube like so badly, because I just wanted to be a normal teenager so bad, and I literally could not be, because my entire life was literally public for anyone to watch. So at that time I definitely had like animosity towards my parents, because I was like, you guys took my life away, like I literally cannot live a normal life. But I feel like that was also just because, like, you know, you go through a stage when you're a teenager and like you hate everything no matter what. And now that I am a little bit older and I don't care what anyone thinks, and I have like no one to impress in high school and like all of that, like I definitely have a different viewpoint. I definitely think sometimes I still do get like angry at my parents that like this is the life that I have, you know, but then like I also have like the opposite feeling too, that like I love my job and I love what I do and just like everything. So it's just really difficult. I mean, like I've always explained to you guys, like YouTube really is like a love-hate relationship for me, so I never really know how I even feel about it. And when I do get angry about it and when I do hate it, obviously that's going to like go towards my parents, because like they kind of chose this for me, you know. So like, yeah, I would say that sometimes in certain ages of my life I have very much been angry with my family and like upset and all of that, but then like other times I've been like, this is pretty good, like I've had so many great things come and such and whatever. Let's move on. What was the hardest part of growing up on YouTube? I literally hate talking about this because it doesn't traumatize me anymore, but it traumatized me like years ago. The hardest part of growing up on YouTube is just, honestly, I'm gonna say teenage boys. They made my life miserable, especially like being in high school too. I got bullied so much. It wasn't even like everyone collectively, it was a few specific boys. They just took the fact that like YouTube was something that was like uncomfortable for me, you know. Like I hated going into a school of like normal people and being that one girl who does something like super weird and like unordinary, you know. So everyone picked on me for that. Every once in a while I would just have like random people like say things to me, but again, it was just always the same group of boys. And there was this one boy in particular, and I'm gonna call him out right now. It's actually, and it's just so embarrassing to me that like you took the fact that out on me and you like made my life in high school like miserable. Yeah, that sucked really badly. That sucked really badly, and this individual and his friends would literally do anything they could while like we were in a classroom together to just bring up my name, say my name in front of everyone, get everybody to laugh, like push me in the hallway, say something annoying to me, like text me, and like just literally torment me for like so long just because of that. Like it literally drives me nuts. But that was definitely the hardest part of just growing up on YouTube, is running into people who just acted like that. It was like, why are you treating me like a freak just because my life is a little bit different? Like, I hated it. Would you want your own children to grow up in a similar way or a different way? Absolutely 100% a different way. I could just never ever imagine YouTube being a part of my life for that long. Like, if I'm still making YouTube videos by the time I'm having kids, I'm gonna be a little bit upset, because that is just like too much. It's too much for me. So that's like one reason, like, I do not need to be doing YouTube for that long. Another reason that I would say no is I just feel like my mentality has changed a lot, like, due to YouTube. Like, my feelings, like my emotions and my perceptions of like a lot of things, like my perception of money has definitely been like affected, and just my perception of a lot of different stuff. And I'm actively trying to like fix that every single day. And just like living a life like this is really difficult. So there's a lot of bad things that come along with it, as there are good. So I just have like lived that life before, and I would not want to see it being lived again, if that makes sense. I lived through me being a child and an adult through YouTube. I do not need to watch the same thing happen with my own children. Like, I just can't. Did you have a stalker? I actually did have a stalker, and I have an entire video about it on my channel. It's called My Stalker Story. It's really crazy, so if you are interested in hearing about it, just go watch that video. This will be the last question that I answer, and it is, what was the hardest comment to see on OFN videos? One that consistently showed up, and why? So I definitely feel like the comments that have always just affected me the most is like comments that called me like a brat, or comments that called me spoiled, and just like anything along those lines. They affected me so badly. I have had many of years to reflect on these comments that I have been given, so I've kind of like already formatted like how I exactly feel about them. The reason I hated being called a brat so much is because everyone watching right now, go back and think of the years like 11 to like 14 in your life, like when you're going through puberty and whatever, you're all angry and you hate everything and you're like becoming a teenager. Think about those parts of your life and think about like how you just acted. I'm sure at points you were dramatic and you were angry and you screamed at your parents and you said something you didn't mean. Now think about all those things that you did, and imagine if they were all recorded and put online for everyone to literally see. I'm sure many of you guys acted the same exact way when you were going through those ages, but no one ever said anything about it because no one was publicly watching your life. I just remembered a specific memory. There was this phone call that was recorded between me and my mom when I was literally like 10 years old, I think. She was like on the way to my dance studio to get me Taco Bell. I always used to get Taco Bell, and when I had called her, I was like yelling, I was like, Mom, like get me my bean burrito, like I'm on my break. So this girl who was in my grade and in my same class at school, her younger sister was watching my YouTube video one day, and her mom had stumbled upon her daughter watching it and heard that clip of me yelling at my mom that I wanted Taco Bell. She like called the school, and we were about to go in 5th grade camp, and she basically said that she did not want me put in the same room or on the same bus as her daughter. She did not want me and her daughter to be able to sit next to each other. And I was just like, are you for real? Like, that hurt so badly. And they were actually like trying to tell me that I could not be in a cabin with all of my friends because of this one girl. And that is just a part of another one of the frustrating things that have happened to me, because I'm sure those kids have screamed at their parents one day too when they were having a really bad day, but unfortunately it just wasn't filmed and put live for everyone to watch, so no one could have said anything about it. But it happened to me, and it happened to me literally all the time, and I always feel misheard and misunderstood. Another comment that I actually hate to receive is that I am spoiled, and I used to get this like all throughout my life. My parents even used to call me spoiled and like this and that, and I know that as a kid I literally got like so much. I got everything that I asked for and like this and that, but what people choose not to pay attention to is the fact that I had been working since I was 6 years old, and like this house, the YouTube channel, and like all of it, like it couldn't have been anything without me and my siblings. So it's like, how are you about to call us spoiled when we're like working to keep this family rolling? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just always sucked to be called ungrateful and spoiled, because I truthfully have worked for everything that I've got. And even if you guys don't see it, YouTube is hard, and it has been hard for the past 13 years. So it has just sucked to get terrible, hateful comments all the time, because like I'm just trying to live my life and be me, and I have the privilege to share it with you guys, and you guys have the privilege of me sharing my life with you too. So I just wish that everyone would, you know, be a little bit nicer sometimes, because like I'm just a person. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I literally have so many more questions, so if you want me to continue this, I can make another video and just call it like a part 2 and make another one. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.